Alright everyone, Nate and Beth stopping on by to continue our reviews of Friday the 13th, the series. In this case,
This is season 2, episode 23, The Maestro. And we guessed.
Conductor's One.
And again, epic fail.
I don't know if we're ever going to guess anything right again, but
They're getting clever with their cursed items, though. I have to give them that.
okay.
Should we say what the cursed item is right away, or?
Yes, we should. Why not?
It's a Victorian Symphonia, aka really fancy music box.
That has a metal disc with, the
Like-
dots or whatever imprinted, or the holes in it or whatever. So when it spins and it goes against the thing like a music box, it makes music.
Yeah.
So I've got something in my mouth like a candy, so we'll try this out. It's almost dissolved.
Uh-huh.
It's really good. What is it?
It's a peppermint.
Peppermint, yeah.
So watching this episode was kind of bittersweet, I guess.
Well, we'll get to the end at the end, but
Yeah.
may I quickly say that I love the intro of this. Whoever directed and cut this is really cool, and some of the stuff with the dancing and the people writhing and suffering in slow motion was really well done for a TV episode, and it starts really cool. At first you just see the music box thing and you hear this moaning like people are having sex, and I'm like, ooh boy, I'm getting all excited, and I'm like, ooh,
I didn't touch him.
This is quite the way to start an episode, but sure enough, it's moans of pain, not pleasure.
Dancers literally dancing to death.
And this guy is I've seen this guy in stuff, that he's probably done since, movies and stuff. I don't know his name or anything, but this main guy, what's his name? We don't know.
Anton?
Yeah, maybe Anton something or other, the music guy dance guy who used to, I think, dance himself when he broke his ankle or leg or something, and now he's just an instructor or some crap, and driving students to death. And the opening is really fun. Usually there's not a twofer in this episode, and right off the bat, the first scene, the dancers just get driven mad, insane by this dance, but the music box thing's playing, and they jump out the window, and several
I guess they're limited
stories
by the
up.
space, and had there actually been space, they probably would have continued dancing.
Well, it's hard to say, but
Hard to
either
say,
way,
but
they
one leapt out one window, the other up the other window, like Romeo and Juliet, their past characters, and they did a joint death
pretty
that looked
cool,
like suicide.
pretty cool stunt for a television episode.
Yeah.
I was really impressed by the opening, and as we're getting into the review, anyone who's, I'm not, but anyone who is a dance enthusiast might enjoy this episode. A little bit of muscular, lean bodies dancing with skin tight. Beth's looking at me. Skin tight clothes and doing the dancing, this and that, and
How many deaths were there?
I've got, we keep track of deaths with AA batteries, and there's 6 AA batteries sitting before us, so
Oh, that's
6 deaths in this, and we'll get to the tragic end towards the end, but I've been blabbing a lot. Would you like to?
I'm just listening to you. You
Okay.
seem to be enjoying this.
Not anymore. Take it from here.
Oh, once you've gotten done talking
you're
about the
writhing
skin tight writhing bodies.
muscle and lean.
Yeah, well, I guess kind of getting to the heart of the episode, I guess a young daughter of Jack's friend is like the guest star, and they go to see Anton's play. I don't know.
Dance thing. Is it a
Romeo and Juliet.
dance and interpretation? I don't know what the
of
hell you
Romeo
call
and
this.
Juliet.
Just nonsense. It's
And
like,
she's like part of the company, the dance company for Anton or Antonio, whatever his name is, and she's just all starry-eyed. And
I get to meet him, or what'd she say?
I get to meet him, I get to work for him, and it's just this opportunity of a lifetime. She's 18, she's young and dumb, and you know the rest. And
Well, she's a woman, so she's not full of anything unless someone injects her anyway.
All I said was, you know the rest.
Yeah, but she's a woman.
And she gets
so
just swept away. She gets swept away with the
Look at how he walks.
glory.
Screen saving the episode.
She goes to her first rehearsal and she's all nervous and everyone is just dancing their hearts out and he's just ridiculing them and tearing them apart and saying he goes up to the niece. What's her name?
I don't know. Cutie face.
Oh,
Beth gave me a look. Okay, ugly face, I think's her name.
The niece of...
Well, not the niece, the daughter of Jack's friend.
The daughter of Jack's friends, but she calls him Uncle Jack, so we'll call it her.
We called her niece.
And they're like, Anton to the pseudo nieces, you can take a page from her book and learn from it, and she's all starry-eyed, and oh my god, it's my first rehearsal, and he's praising me, and then we see the music box actually work. I guess you have to put your hand on the symphonia and dedicate your body and soul to the dance.
And then you'll be danced to death, basically, which happens several times. Well,
but he's trying to finish a piece.
6 times in this episode. Yeah, well, this seems unfinishable. Is that what we?
I don't think it is finishable.
Yeah, because we see 6 attempts in this episode.
Even the last attempts, which was him and the pseudo niece dancing this finale to a play, and it's all impromptu and. The audience gives it a standing ovation, thinking it's all part of the act, and it's real.
So it's fun throughout the episode how they obviously, as the episode progresses, you see more and more dancers, tormented dancers from his troupe. He basically keeps trying to audition people, see if they can finish the end of the last 5 minutes or some crap of this dance or whatever.
He was hesitant to have the Jack's, little niece complete it because I think he was actually starstruck by her, like maybe infatuated by her beauty. He really didn't want her to finish the piece. He was trying to get other people to do it, and he's like, just 2 more minutes, just 5 more minutes, just a little bit.
Oh, you think after he found her, he was still auditioning other people to.
That's why he let the other girl. Well, she's too inexperienced. I can show you. I can finish your piece and fine, do it. And she was 2 minutes away, and she got killed by a mirror.
Could be a way to look at it.
Jumping through a mirror. Could be a way of looking at it, and I don't know. This is up and down, emotional. Stardom and experience. And
sacrifice for fame. Might be a little truth in this episode.
Yeah, just a little bit.
As I was starting to say, the thing that's fun about this episode is there's 6 deaths and they're all dance related. So it's fun to see as the episode progresses the different way people die in dance. I think the 3rd one was just twirling around and blood splitting from her mouth, and I'm not big on
that.
Drool and slime coming from the mouth. So it's funny because they showed the ground as she was spinning, and it left this blood circle. It's just like,
and then like you said, the music box was constantly just wanting more and more, because I think the music box just takes what the dancer has and pulls from it, but if the dancer isn't that experienced and doesn't know very much, it just is like, I'm done with you, just fucking die. So, you were saying?
It was fun to see the dance of deaths, and I want to say, so the first 2 jumped out the window, then the spiral of blood out the mouth, then through the mirror, and then the last 2 would have been live at the main guy and the ugly face chick.
Yeah. And they were trying to hold hands. Like, it had to be a duet for some reason. Maybe them...
Blood just came out of both of their mouths as they spun.
I wonder what would have happened had their hands actually touched. Would that have satisfied the symphonia?
The symphonia... Did we mention... I'm sure we mentioned that was the cursed item in this
the cursed item.
episode. And... So what?
And Jack's all pissed because it was his best friend's daughter.
Several of these episodes sometimes
very heart-wrenching.
Sometimes throughout the course of the series, some of them end with one of the 3 characters, emotionally distraught about the loss of whoever. And this one was
really... But no Johnny in this episode.
No Johnny, so that was good. for me and bad for Beth. But this one ended with Marshak. You know, I mean, it was kind of like she was kind of like a niece to him.
Yeah.
Really pissed that that they didn't do more. Yeah, she tried to save her life, and she snuck away and died anyway. And
I think she
Ryan
might
and
have even
Mickey.
witnessed one of the deaths and still did it.
Yeah, because
she'd already sworn her body and soul to the dance. Maybe she was compelled to the music.
Yeah, towards
box.
the end, we did see that the ugly face.
He had to swear his body and soul to the dance too.
She saw the probably the fourth woman die, and we're like, oh, good, now she can stay away. But like Beth said, she was probably compelled to the dance of the death. But do you want to give star rating, or you still want to talk about it?
You know, I was actually very impressed
I didn't
with
mean
this.
star, I mean thumb rating.
I understand. I was actually very impressed with this. I'm going to give this a full thumbs up.
Whew, it sounded like you didn't like it much a couple seconds ago, and now all of a sudden you're, okay.
Just because you can't interpret my words doesn't mean I didn't like the episode. I was very...
Can you briefly say what you loved about it?
Just knowing the dedication it takes to put yourself fully to something.
Yeah.
You know, just that drive, that inner whatever, inspiration, I guess, for lack of a better word. And what would you give it?
Probably just a notch under a full thumb. I thought it was pretty good, but as a non-dance enthusiast, you know, it got boring seeing the dance.
Because the heavy breathing wasn't actually
the heavy breathing wasn't sex, so wasn't TV sex.
Bummer. So what's the next episode before we hit our 13 mark?
Looks like the next episode is
The Shaman's Apprentice.
I'd say a Mickey Mouse mop or a broom or a Mickey Mouse
I'm going to say like a mask or some ancient like musical instrument.
What's a shaman?
Shaman is a medicine man.
Oh, so what's involved in medicine?
Feathers and herbs.
Could be a feather or an herb or a mask. Okay.
Okay, he's just repeating everything I say.
I don't know. Honestly, our I don't know when
our
the last
have
time
been so wrong.
we guessed a correct item, except for maybe. I think, you know, way back in season 1, it was like something scarecrow, and we were like, I bet it's a scarecrow. I mean, that was just kind of like, no shit.
They're getting a little more tricky, as I mentioned earlier, and we've hit our 13-minute mark. Thank you so very much for listening, and I hope for those dance enthusiasts to at least watch this episode of, was it season 2, episode 23, The Maestro, Friday the 13th, the series, if my memory serves.
It serves.
I think it's a good one.
I'd say one of the better ones, so check it out if you haven't.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening.